What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You already know who this is. The boy, the historian for the halftime analysis between the Birds and the Panthers. Go ahead and hit that like button on the way in. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. We got something for you today. So sit back, relax. I got you on the halftime report. BirdCage. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we literally have let these cats back into the game. How do you let I'm trying to pick my words for this. Lorenzo Carter, you should be ashamed of yourself. You had a guaranteed sack and literally could have ended the half. It's time to go ahead and get this dude up out the paint, man. This dude is just awful. The defense is just not stopping anything today. Like, you're letting a team that is inferior to you get points on the board. You're letting Andy Dalton get off. You shut down Jalen Hurts. You guys shut down Baker Mayfield. You shut down Derek Carr. You shut down better quarterbacks, and you are letting these guys get in. Now, today is just one of these games, and I said this week before we even got to today's game. I've been saying this, man. So here's the problem that we have right now. The problem is the Falcons are in a place where they thought these guys were going to just roll over and just die. It's not going to happen like that. You got to understand, this is one of these games that's damn near a trap game. That's what I've been saying all week. It's a rivalry game. They're going to come to try to spoil what you're trying to do into the division. You're up 5 points right now. Truthfully, you should be up 12 points right now. But again, let's go ahead and get into I'm trying not to I'm laughing to keep from just spazzing out right now. But yeah, I agree with you guys. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to what we call the BirdCage halftime analysis. Let's go ahead and bring these stats up. So today, ladies and gentlemen, all I can say is Kirk Cousins, 10 out of 17, 119 yards, definitely having a solid day. But today, you got to run the ball. You actually see that Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson is getting off. I said this before the game started in the pregame meal with Red, the Cricket Deacon, and then you had Thomas to come in. I said this has got to be a Bijan and Tyler Algier game because they're definitely going to try to stop the pass. Their secondary is the best part of their team. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Their secondary is the best part. So when you look at what's going on right now, Chuba Hubbard's averaging 3 yards a carry. We're keeping him, maintaining him right now. But Andy Dalton has 138 yards, 16 out of 22 for 2 touchdowns. Jimmy Lake, I'm going to go ahead and say this here. This BS defense that you're calling right now, it's got to go. It's got to go because your secondary is getting cooked today. There's no questions about it. Your secondary is getting cooked. I don't know what you're doing on your end right now, but you got to fix it, bro. You're the new defensive coordinator. That bend but don't break has to stop. We need these guys to be a little bit more aggressive. Right now, we should be up 22 really to 10 right now. I said it was going to be 28-10, but now because of the defense giving up the draws in the secondary, it's just one of those things. But again, Jimmy Lake, you got to get this together because this is just bad all the way around. Now, special teams, shout out to you guys. Block punt, we set it up to where we could score points. Drake London scored his touchdown today. Bijan scored his. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Now, the 2-point conversion, now we had some folks that were a little pissed off about it. Shout out to my boy Larry over at the Dixon Way. If you can't see the game on television, go ahead and check them out. They have some great commentary, and also check out my guy Berto or whatnot doing his thing for the gambling site or whatnot. Berto from 95 Sports North. He's doing it also commentary if you like Falcons football. But let's call it. We ran a 2-point conversion in the red zone with Tyler Algier. He did his thing, ran over his own guy. We've got to do better with running the ball right now. We got to do better with running the ball right now. This is just one of those things And all I can say is Lorenzo Carter hadn't been the same since he left California to come out this way. Just saying. He hasn't been the same. So at this point, we've got to be in a situation to where we make things happen in a positive light for this team. That's the only way that this thing is going to change. You have to be positive right now in the locker room. And Raheem Morris, you got to get on your coordinator. You got to get on your coordinator because at this point, you're struggling. Bijan and Tyler are averaging 5 yards a carry. Bijan's averaging 5.1 yards. Tyler's averaging 5.6 yards. You've got to go ahead and feed those two monsters. Ray McLeod, the big mistake that you made when you were trying to do too much, catch the ball. If you're going down, make sure you secure the ball. Don't give them a chance to get the ball back because you apparently see that we gave up the ball. You're trying to do too much, son. Stop it. You must stop. At this point, this has got to be a running game. You got to feed those two monsters you have in the backfield. Kyle Pitts, you had definitely 2 great receptions, and you're averaging 28 yards a play. You got to start feeding Pitts on seam routes if you're going to throw the ball. Pitts needs to eat this game, and then you also have to feed these 2 running backs. Darnell Mooney had a great couple of catches today, averaging 9 yards a catch. Then you also have excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. And then you also have Drake London averaging 8 yards a catch. Offensively, I like what we're doing, but I'd like to see the run a little bit more. Defense. Grady Jarrett, way to step up, way to show up, 4 solo tackles, 2 tackles for losses. Mike Hughes, way to step up in the secondary and do your thing today. And all I can say is at this point, we definitely have to understand that things are going to change at this point. And this is a rivalry game. And the thing that y'all have to understand about a rivalry game is it's not just we're making bad teams look bad. The problem is it is a rivalry game. In rivalry games, people are going to step up and play. They are bad against everybody else. We shot ourselves in the foot defensively with some of the calls that we've had. We've shot ourselves in the foot, period. No questions asked, no excuses, no nothing. Matthew Judon's being held. You're not going to get these calls. D Alford has 3 solo tackles. I'm not mad at the defense with tackling today, except on that last drive. The defense is tackled has been arm tackling today. We've got to get better with that. Today is one of those days where this is a rivalry game. These boys are trying to knock you off in the division and muck up your season. You win today, you're ahead into the division 3-0. You have a leg up on everybody. You've got to start playing like that today. You've got to start coaching competently on the defensive side of the ball. You've got to start mixing up blitzes. You cannot be vanilla. These defensive calls that we've had so far have been vanilla. Start getting your playmakers into positions to make plays, Jimmy Lake. This is a game where you got to be called out on. Zach Robinson is doing his job. Zach Robinson has put up points on the board. Zach Robinson has figured out how to try to adjust. We just got to get a little bit more running in. Defensively, you got to get your butt off the pot, sir. Or as my granddaddy would say, you got to crap. Hey, you either going to crap or you going to get off the pot. I'm just keeping it PG or whatnot because, again, family-friendly show. We can drop a cuss word in here and there every once in a while, but we can't get too stupid with it. But all I'm going to say is this, Jimmy Lake, this is the thing that we talked about. A lot of people, you've called some great games. This is the time where you got to pull your head out your butt and figure out how to call a great second half. Make the adjustments. Get everything right because your secondary right now is struggling. It's time for you to go ahead and lean on Jerry Gray. You have one of the baddest coordinators in Jerry Lake. He's one of the best that ever did it. Start leaning on this man. I get that you want to experiment and try things, but you got to trust the wisdom that you have in the room. He was kept here for a reason. But all I'm going to say is this. Defense has to tackle better. We've had some times where it's not just Lorenzo Carter. I'm not just going to put it all on him. We have to tackle better. We have to cover better. We're in a situation where this defense is not playing up to its capabilities. We haven't heard Jesse Bates' name in the game too much. Haven't heard Justin Simmons' name in the game too much today. This is one of these games where you have to get things right. At this point, you just have to figure it out. You've got playmakers on the defense. Start putting them in positions to play. This is what you're getting paid for, sir. This defense is a top 10 defense, and you're pissing it away by bad calls, no great situational awareness. Who runs a zone coverage, a prevent defense in the red zone, sir? That should be man-on-man coverage. If your guys can't cover a short field, that is a problem. That is a problem. He has to cut. These guys have to be able to cover short distances. AJ Terrell, buddy, you are the second highest paid cornerback in the NFL right now, next to Tyson Campbell, sir. Guess what? You got to go ahead and earn your money today because you look a little suspect today. You as shaky as a shoe model in Magic City right about now. You definitely are. Clark Phillips III, you're coming up, making tackles. I'm pleased with that. We just got, that last play that was given up in the end zone when Xavier Leggett got you. You got to remember, man, Clark Phillips is about 5'9", 5'10", and you got Xavier Leggett 6'3", 6'4", 200 and something pounds. The size difference is going to show in the 50-50 jump ball. Leggett also was a basketball player in high school, so when you talk about that vertical hop, it's just what it is. But AJ, you got to get it together, dog. You got this money. It's time for you to start showing this. You can't be inconsistent, my brother. You've got to be consistent week in and week out. I backed off of you because you've been doing well, but depending on how the second half goes, you might catch some smoke today. So you fix it. I won't say nothing because everybody starts off sleepwalking at times. We have to tackle better. I like the offense today. I just want to see the ball running. I have no problem with my offense. My defense is my problem today. We need pressure. We got to start scheming up blitzes. We have to start doing things that's going to help this team get into a position to where they can get turnovers. We almost had an interception. I'm not mad at Lando for missing that interception. He's not a wide receiver. But, hey, when you have stuff offered to you like that, you just got to take it. It's just pretty much like a sample in the BJ's when they got food out. Some stuff you take, some stuff you don't. But when you get an interception, you got to take it. You got to go ahead and take it and run with it. As my dog Larry would say, Larry from the Dixon Way would say, that man had cookies. You got to take them cookies and go ahead and create your own milk with it, sir. You had cookies in your hands, my brother. You got to do something with it. But all I'll say is this. Lorenzo Carter, you got a second half. This experiment that we have with you and Ebiketie, pretty soon it's got to come to an end. In this day and age, you got to go ahead and start playing Duralis. You got to start playing Rook a little bit more. Rook's out there, but we got to start calling it to where these guys can come in and do some things. We need to see a little bit more Zach Harrison today. There are so many things that we need to fix on this defensive side of the ball. It's got to change. You guys been smelling yourself, as the old folks say. You smelling your pee right about now. You guys beat some good teams, and you guys competed. But you guys overlooked this team that you're playing today. You can't overlook anybody because we'll be sitting here looking like Alabama did when they lost to Vanderbilt or struggled against South Carolina. Just being honest, you can't overlook a team just because you have one great game like they did, and then you just start giving up the draws. You got to stop doing it. If you're going to give up the draws, you make them pay for it. Just going to keep it a buck with you. If they going to score, you got to make them pay for it. But in this second half, you got to tax those boys for scoring as much as they did in the first half. This game was supposed to be over with if Lorenzo Carter gets that sack before the half. And we get the ball back in the second half. We got to add points onto the board, and we got to play keep away at this point because Andy Dalton has confidence. We cannot afford to continue to give this man confidence because whether y'all realize it or not, he's definitely a quarterback that could beat us. He's got the skill set. I wanted to see Bryce Young today, but hey, we're stuck with what we have. We got to do what we got to do. It is what it is. Second half is getting ready to start right now. Y'all go ahead, sit back, relax, enjoy yourselves, and just chill. This is why I call them the blood pressure birds. The blood pressure birds got all of our blood pressure up with the game that should be already in the bag. But hey, second half is up. Y'all sit back, relax. We're going to go ahead and get back to you with the post-game show. I expect the party line today, but the way these boys playing right now, there's a possibility of a benediction if they keep looking like Alabama did against Vandy. So y'all Enjoy the second half. We'll catch y'all in the post-game show.